you are having trouble finding time to write. Yeah, I can tell. I can tell it's because I can see it in your eyes. And because it's kind of a truth universally acknowledged, isn't it? Writers, time, what can you do? Well, here's the thing. I'm a full-time writer, actually, but a full-time anything, I mean, whether that's a job or something like caring for a family, caring for family members, why isn't that considered a job when it's, anyway, any full-time anything, let's call it that. Full-time anything has that word full in it. You have to do what you have to do. In my case, well, yes, that does mean I have to write. It is my job and it is my business. But there are also these things that you and I need to write that we don't because of any commitments like this. Fortunately, I haven't got a solution. But I think I have an idea. And I've been trying it out for a whole 3 weeks now, so got to be great. Let me show you a thing I think is called block planning. And if you don't happen to already know it, well then you will. And you'll be able to see whether it looks like it might be useful to you. And if you do already know it, well then you can tell me where I'm going wrong. Actually, that'd be pretty good. But whether I've got there yet, a thing that works for me or not, the aim is to get more done, isn't it? And to get it so that also I don't spend my writing time worrying that I should be doing something else, that I'm failing to do something else. That's what I'm after here. That's what I think. That's what I think I've got. Yeah, I am a little bit cautious about this one. I'm kind of excited about it. I want to tell you about it. You'll see why. Hello, I should say that. Hello. I'm William Gallagher and this is 58 Keys, which, as ever, as always, is for writers like you and me who use and who write on Macs and iPhones and iPads. Do subscribe or support 58 Keys on Patreon because, well, there's so much to talk about, isn't there? And to put off writing. In this case, actually, there's probably more. It's an endless series, I think, of talks about how we get more writing done, because it's an ongoing problem, isn't it? But, okay, here's what I'm trying. Look at this, please. Imagine it's a Friday. I'm in OmniFocus, my beloved to-do app, and there is this repeating task. Make new week plan spreadsheet. So, that's a task in OmniFocus. But I'm also using a utility app called Hookmark. Watch. I press, I think you might get, Control H, throws up this. Hookmark shows me a spreadsheet. It has tied that task to that spreadsheet. Anytime I get to that task, I can just jump straight to that spreadsheet. So let me jump straight to that spreadsheet. Here is a numbers spreadsheet, and the tab across the top are weeks. These are the weeks I've been working on it. First up, there is Pattern Week, the one I started with. I got the pattern term from TV budgets. On a series, some episodes are going to be more expensive to make than others, but overall there is a template for what everything's going to cost. There is a pattern budget. This is my pattern week, or it's a pattern week. That sounds like it's about a general. This is a pattern for week for when I'm working for appleinsider.com. When I'm doing for them, I can do this. I don't bother planning out anything in there, though, for Apple Insider. I mean, of course, there are plenty of regular things to do, certain times things, but this isn't about trying to create a different, extra, second to-do list. It's about time. And on a week like that, it's the work around the edges that I need to think about the most. I should say, by the way, the week begins on Saturday for me. I know that's unusual, but since 1969, Radio Times magazine, the UK equivalent, a TV guide, has run its television listings and radio listings from Saturday to Friday. And so that was just burnt into me even before I started working for them. I spent 10 years with them, but still, Saturday. Now, in that week, there are certain things that are definitely taking place, that must take place, and they get kind of a colour, and I slot them into a place there. Oh, and across the top, I've also got like a separate list of what must happen, what must be accomplished, what must be finished by a certain day, regardless of anything else. Fine. I take the pattern week, and now it's Friday, I've done all this, opened it up, I make a copy with the next week's dates, and then I go over the spreadsheet app, I go over Fantastical, my to-do app, OmniFocus, my to-do app, and Fantastical, my calendar, and then we get to work. Yeah, I think you can actually figure out what the work is. What have I got to do, and when? Not really the most complicated thing, but the first time I did this, right, it took me some time to work out this pattern spreadsheet. I started by listing, but by just writing out everything's on my plate. What have I got to get done? And it's about what do I want to get done. Writing anything out, you know this, you're a writer. Writing anything out helps you think about it, organise it, all of that. And then it was a case of here's all this stuff. What time is there in the week? Blocking out the existing commitments that I knew, making decisions over the very broadest details. I would keep it as broad as I could. Really, actually, do you know, I think I'm just talking now so that I can keep playing you more of the work that went into that pattern week too. Let me stop that. I would not be showing you this if it didn't seem to be working for me, but I am really conscious that it's very early days. But still, just for example, last week, a lot of those slots were filled with a magazine I was working on, and I actually think that I finished that issue faster than normal because of the plan. Is that possible? I know certainly it's because I knew this is the time to concentrate on that magazine, and I wasn't worrying about the usual thing of jumping around between different things, trying to run too many stuff at the same time. This is the magazine time, do it. And that actually made me feel better. And actually that's why I wanted to suggest this to you. But drama, this comes with a warning. Okay, a warning that has literally taken me 10 years to realise. I'm quite shocked about this, but after I'd done all of this stuff, the pattern spreadsheet, I was looking for images to show you about it, and I found this, a block plan from a decade ago. It's the same idea, and it was a total failure for me. I don't believe that I completed a single week following this plan, but then also I had so totally wiped it from my mind that I could be wrong about that. But I look at this, and apart from the ugliness, here's what I can immediately see was wrong. Things that I think made that unusable and I need to know about for now is the new plan. First, this decade-old plan is Monday to Friday. Where in the world are Saturday and Sunday? I mean, 2 days just thrown away. Plus the times were 5 a.m, which is fine, to 4 p.m, which is not fine at all. What was I thinking? And then instead of thinking each day separately, I stripped things across the week. So that thing where it says TBS work there, that was the blank screen book I was working on, or I've done the book as related projects to do with it. The blank screen, but it's a book that's done really well for me. But it wasn't a big enough deal. There wasn't enough to do with it to warrant being worked on every day for that time throughout the entire week. And then, this is worse, the calls section. I know I put them in here to get me off my backside and phoning people trying to drum up work, freelance writer, trying this. But an hour every day, that's daunting. Oh, actually, and look lower down, an hour a day, plus for some unknown reason, an extra half an hour every day as well. No, impossible. Every day that I would not do a solid 90 minutes of phone calls, I would feel dreadful. Every day, actually, I would feel worse, just this cumulative total. Also, I can't get over the ugliness. My artistic sense was so bad 10 years ago. But if we wipe that from the screen of my mind and go back to the new one I've just done, well, now this is much better, more relaxed, more pastel, for one thing. But there's also this. I know I haven't stripped. I've still blocked out certain times and certain commitments, and I just do those. Okay, there's no feeling bad about them because I've got to do them and I do them. Fine. The rest of the time, the things around the edges, things not in colours. Well, actually, even though I'm promoting this as a way to help you find a way to do things, I've missed quite a bit of them, and I'm all right with it. For example, I worked straight through last weekend, so come Monday morning, I was a bit done in, and I did not actually, hang on, let me just check. What should it have been? Go back to that week. What should it have been that day? Right, okay. Yeah, I definitely did not do 3 hours straight on the Spark magazine very first thing. I think I did 1 hour. I know I did some, got the project going, and then I caught up a bit, did more in the evening. What I didn't do was piddle about deleting 2 of the hours in the morning or dragging them to the evening. Not on the spreadsheet. Yeah, whatever. You know, I'm not the boss of me. Somehow, this version of block planning is helping me even when I don't quite do it. And it's definitely not making me feel bad. I know that. So I think it's because the plan is not a rule. It's not a guideline. It's more like a little hand on the tiller. It shapes and steers the week. And so far, all of which is proving to be good for me. So I think it might be good for you too. You know, every year for so many years, I have taken some time out around December, sometimes in January, usually December, to plan my writing for the next 12 months. What I know I've got to do, what's commissioned, things like that, and what I want to do, what I want to achieve in the writing for the year. It almost always helps me, but it maybe doesn't ever quite help me enough. So last December, changed all of that. In fact, there's a 58 Keys episode on this. There's a link below. Since I know you can't make it through a day without learning the minutiae of my writing ambitions. I know, okay. Might be useful. What was different in this change of year was that I decided to only plan 3 months. Not the whole year, just plan the quarter. It felt like, would that be more manageable? Yeah, but when that quarter was ending, well, I knew good and bad things about what I've been doing, but I didn't know whether or not there was much use in it. I'd actually said in that 58 Keys that I would come back. I didn't know whether I had enough to tell you. I also didn't know whether I could face planning more. I remember thinking, there is a reason, William. There is a reason you leave this to the end of the year. But then for some reason, and who knows how, who knows why, I started trying this. And despite all the fiddling, not an awful lot of it has changed about it since my first thought 3 weeks ago. I mean, who knows? Will I stick with it? Will it work long term? But I am done with that one project, the magazine that I was doing last week. And I felt on top of that. In fact, I felt enough on top of that at this minute, I might regret saying this to you, but at this very minute, I now feel on top of next week's magazine, totally separate magazine, different company. I feel ready for it. And actually, just beyond that, looking further ahead, I'm curious to see if there's anything more I can do with this block planning. Anything that helps me rather than acts as a straitjacket every day. We'll see. I mean, actually, let's run the list of apps. So far, I started the whole thing with Omni Outliner. That's to do with so many projects, planning out the ideas and just thinking about it online. Then there was Omni Focuser to do up, as there always will be. Hookmark, which is so good for linking things together. And there's Numbers. Now, I'm never going to print anything out. That's fantastical as well. I'm never going to print the plan out. Where would I put it? But I'm thinking about maybe having a screen somewhere that has it on. We'll see. In the meantime, though, that is it for this edition of 58 Keys. Thank you very much for watching. Now, take care of yourself. Write more. Hey, there are ways for us to write more and we need to. It's important to us. And I'll see you soon.